Referee just checking with the linesman, his watch. And away we go. Liverpool, the European champions, against Independiente of Buenos Aires, the South American champions, for the Toyota Cup and the title of World Club Champion. Also, this is the first international meeting between the two nations since they were at war over the Falklands Islands. Hopefully this sort of occasion will help the two countries come closer together, even in only a very small way. But whether the players like it or not, they do carry an extra responsibility out there. Bad behaviour or bad sportsmanship might be interpreted in an entirely different way. So the fifth staging of the Toyota Cup. No European side has yet won here. Liverpool, the first side to come back for a second attempt. But the loss of Lawrenson at the back, with Gillespie, number 15, taking his place, is a very bad blow to them. Liverpool in all yellow because, of course, as you probably know, both sides normally wear red as first choice. Dalglish trying to get in there. And that was a fairly fierce challenge. Very quickly spotted by the Brazilian referee. That was Molby, the Dane, coming in with that foul. This is Gillespie, only 7 games in the first team for Liverpool. Dalglish running for this one with Villaverde. Villaverde, Nicol picking it up off him. Hard to keep the balance, but the referee had blown for a foul on Steve Nicol. It's going to be competitive early on. This is Kennedy and Nicol on the ball. Cleared away by Villaverde. Over goes young Gillespie. On to the all-weather track. This, of course, was the Olympic Stadium of 1964. Justi putting it out to Clausen. Easily cut out by Hansen. On the right here is Johnson and Rush. Rush getting in there well. Molby playing for the first time for Liverpool in an international match. Molby penalised by the referee there. There's Ian Rush. 32 goals in England, 47 overall for Liverpool last year. Looking for Dalglish. Now Rush. And Marangoni loses the ball to Johnston. Hansen. Villaverde cuts it out. Well, Liverpool enjoying a bit of possession at the moment. Dalglish holding it up well. Molby. Rush. Rush, a good ball to Johnston. Walk backs off. Johnston here to Neal. Walk. Molby offside. It's quickly taken and Independiente come away with it. Burashaga, good tackle. And not offside as Pecodani breaks away. Pecodani with a chance. It's a goal! Independiente have broken away and scored in 6.5 minutes with their first attack. Grobbelaar beaten. Liverpool claim offside, but the Argentine celebrates a goal early on by 19-year-old Jose Pecodani. Through there by Marangoni. Offside claim Liverpool. No, says the referee. And Pecodani goes on and through and scores. Good goal. And from this angle, Grobbelaar didn't get near to him at all, and he kept his cool for a 19-year-old superbly. Well, a bitter blow for Liverpool when they'd had so much possession, pushed forward. Suddenly the back door is open and they're one down. And there's the Liverpool bench and their manager, Joe Fagan, necessarily a little bit dejected at the moment. Throw in for Liverpool. Again, building the pressure after that blow of the goal, but the flick wasn't particularly good, although Trocero almost made it a better one by missing there, but no danger in the end. Good challenge by Neil. Johnson gets in there. And here's Rush. And Trocero almost put it into his own net. Dalglish couldn't get there. That was a great opportunity for Liverpool. Johnson and Rush opened it up. Johnson gets in there well, and Rush showed his speed getting on the end of it, setting up Dalglish, but he couldn't get it. Trocero didn't know where it was. Boccini. Good play. Pecodani. And a free kick. Dangerous play given against Liverpool. A free kick in a critical area. Pecodani goes for it. It's a high challenge, a dangerous challenge by Gillespie. You can see exactly why the free kick was given. But 3 years ago, in a similar situation, Grobbelaar fumbled a free kick from Zico, and his side were really put out of the game. What'll happen here? Now, Trocero is very good on these kicks. It's Marangoni on the ball. Trocero shoots, hits the wall. Oh, great save. Clausen with the drive. Brilliant bit of catching by Grobbelaar, and the flags wave. The wall doing its job, but then goalkeeper Grobbelaar doing his job here. That was on the way in. Good catch. But the Liverpool bench a little bit more anxious now, and another cigarette is stubbed out. A chain smoker, Joe Fagan, throughout the whole of the game. Barbaron with no chance there, but as we've seen in this game, when Barbaron, number 11, has been in possession, he's been very dangerous. So Liverpool, the champions of Europe 4 times in the last 7 years, and English First Division champions a record 15 times, now up against it with 10 minutes to go before half-time. Johnson doing well on this right-hand side. Good effort into the side netting, but he looked as if he had the beating of his man there. Johnson temporarily disappeared. Here he is, South African born, brought up in Australia, where his wife and child are at the moment. He's only recently come back from there. We're some 8 minutes from half-time. Ian Rush hasn't really had a chance yet. It's Independiente of Buenos Aires, Argentina, leading by 1-0. And a good cutout there by Gillespie. Boccini, nice first-time touch. Hansen got a boot in though. Walk, Dalglish, that's not a particularly good ball. Enrique trying to make Barbaron run. Can he keep it in? Not quite. And the game has faded away a little bit, although there's plenty for this capacity crowd of 62,000 to enjoy. Little touches of skill like that from Enrique particularly. Over Rush's head for Dalglish. Villaverde is with him. Comes Molby. And Goigen controls it. Molby hasn't scored for Liverpool. It's his first international game, but really he should shoot more from these sort of distances, says Joe Fagan, the coach. It was a tricky one, but it wasn't really going in. And from another angle, good goalkeeping demonstrated here by Goigen. Nicely controlled by Kennedy, but in there quickly was Giusti, and seemed to be a push there on Dalglish, but he held his man off superbly. And here's Walk getting over, but his touch was bad. And here comes Johnson. Good shot. Great shot by Molby. That was blocked. And Liverpool pushing forward, Independiente in some trouble, but they keep him out. Johnson back in possession again, but the whistle this time has gone, and a yellow card is being shown to Molby, I think. But Johnson did well there. Molby, I think, protested that that shot hit a player's hand. Whatever happened, he certainly said too much. And his name has gone into the notebook of the referee Filiol. But relief for Omar Pastoriza, the Independiente coach. Really let off the hook there. Burachaga, good tackle. Johnston, really busy. He's got the taste at the moment, Liverpool. Last 3 minutes before half-time. Rush slipping on this hard, tight surface. Nickel doing well. Clausen is onto him. That must be a foul. Protests of innocence, but that's got to be a free kick. Well, let's see it again. I think it'll prove the point without doubt. The ball wasn't touched, the man certainly was, and Liverpool have a free kick. Hansen stays back, but Gillespie goes up there. Gillespie getting in and touched over the top by Goyen. It was a direct shot. Dalglish curling one in directly from there, and it gave the goalkeeper some trouble. And it's a corner. The closing seconds now almost of the first half. Away by Barbaron, who's all the way back there. Boccini, a lovely touch to Percodani. He's on his own. Can he keep going on his own? Chased by numbers of Liverpool players. Keeps possession. Superb, but almost runs out. Burachaga goes forward. Burachaga always there, and it was almost a bad one from Phil Neal. At stake here, of course, very substantial prize money and the title of World Club Champion. And a chance here for Barbaron to break. Surely he was offside that time. He was. He's really not getting a break at all. But there's clearly a bit of a backdoor there, which Liverpool must keep closed tight. Phil Neal, we're on the 45-minute mark now. And the whistle goes for the end of the first half. And at the moment, it's this team, Independiente, their captain, Jorge Burachaga, leading by that one vital goal scored by Jose Percodani in the 6th minute. He's looked sharp, they've looked very quick. Liverpool have looked a bit square at the back, and Boccini has looked a very, very experienced and talented playmaker in midfield. They're the obvious dangers, but Liverpool pushed forward well towards the closing stages of the first half. They created a couple of near chances, and we're away again for the second half, with Liverpool a lot to do on this brown, dusty, bumpy surface. It's not a question of the groundsman having goofed out on his job. It's the way it is in Japan at this time of the year. Green grass is a scarce commodity. This is the challenge between the Libertadores champions and the European champions, the two winners meeting here on neutral territory in Tokyo for the Toyota Cup and the World Club title. Burachaga had a quiet time, and Johnson, who's been busy, pinches the ball there. Trocero obviously called for that one, and it's thumped away. Those long balls punted forward are a real danger to Liverpool. And perhaps those big kicks by Grobala are one of the attractions for the Japanese crowd. Dalglish, nicely played inside, but it's Villaverde who pinches it. Molby, And Rush getting onto this one as Marangoni almost got himself in a bit of trouble. And it's Liverpool with a corner, and their bench looks a little bit happier. A punch by Goyen, not a particularly good one, but it's satisfactorily cleared. Another look at Goyen's anxious moment. John Walk. Mulby slowed it down and changes it to Nicol and Kennedy behind him. Two players up front for Liverpool. Plenty of support in midfield though. Dalglish comes off well. Dalglish a good turn. He sets it up well for Johnson. It's not well done though. Walk does well to keep possession. Phil Neal, they're putting the squeeze on here as Craig Johnson gets it over. Nicol! But he was way out for a powerful header. He did a knockdown really. Kennedy gets in there but doesn't quite control it. Boccini, this is the fastest period of the game yet. Boccini with Burachaga going forward. Across comes Gillespie and careered off him for a corner. First of the game for Independiente, and one of the first times we've seen Burachaga breaking, but he's free here. They're thinking quickly, but that was an important tackle and another important tackle. Ten minutes gone of this second half. Both sides going for the vital goal, but if Independiente get one here, it'll really be all over, I would have thought, for Liverpool. Burachaga here. And a free kick given against Liverpool. And we'll get a sighting of this one. A better sighting than Grobbelaar in the Liverpool goal. And it was at this end that Grobbelaar 3 years ago against Flamengo had trouble with a free kick. Now, who could have a go here? Trocero, the number 6, is the favourite. Here he goes. Ooh, and deflected, ricocheting away. Here it is, the wall being beaten, but Nicol's head withstanding the shock. Nicol getting in the way of that, and that obviously means a corner. Trocero stays up there. Barberon to Burachaga. Boccini knocks it over again. Good head away though by Gillespie as Trocero came in on him. Good play by Enrique, but he couldn't pull it back enough. Even for the South Americans, whose control is pretty good, the ball will run away with them on this hard, unforgiving pitch. So the continual background of sound. It's been going for at least half an hour before the kickoff, and will no doubt be carrying on for most of the day. Increased to a pitch here in anticipation as Liverpool went forward, but it's Independiente on the break with Barberon and Boccini inside here. Boccini in with a good position here. Boccini, and it bobbled up again and away. But he's really enjoying himself at the moment. Usually he's the man who supplies others with chances. This time he had one himself. He couldn't get it down, and it flew away. Boccini, well intercepted by Mulby, and Mulby gets a return. Mulby, the Dane for Liverpool. That's a lovely ball forward for Nicol. Oh, good effort, but good goalkeeping too. The angle that he had at his disposal was quite a narrow one. Great play by the Dane Mulby though. Steve Nicol gets through, but there's nowhere to go really. Dalglish, Mulby, Johnson wide. And the horns blow. And Barbaron is back there to cover. Neil. Oh, Rush, can he turn? Dalglish, forward for Walk, he's offside. The whistle will go. And it's gone long before Rush put it in the net. A lot of the Japanese supporters applaud, thinking the ball is in the back of the net. Legally, it isn't. Offside there by John Walk. So, nothing for Joe Fagan and his team. A reminder that this is the Toyota Cup from Tokyo, Japan. The clash between European champions and the South American champions for the World Club title. And we've had pretty well 20 minutes in the second half. Still 1-0 to Independiente. Oh, and there's a bad back pass, and Burachaga's in with a chance. Burachaga's still going, and Grobbelaar remonstrates. But he did superbly to get that off Burachaga, who should have scored. But that was an appalling error by Liverpool. Hansen clear. Marangoni and Dalglish gets in there well, superbly done. Nicol can break here, rushes over the far side. And the tackle came in just at the right moment, and Nicol couldn't control it. That's the problem of these pitches. But Marangoni was caught here. Rush and Dalglish came over fast. Nicol breaks, but as the tackle comes in, it bobbles away. Great bit of play by Dalglish. But Nicol really couldn't get a clean shot in. Some 18 minutes left for Liverpool to get back in it. Rush. Villaverde is behind him, Clausen rather behind him, and that's an obvious foul, and it's going to be a booking. Rush turning away from Clausen, who clatters him, and his name goes into Mr. Filio's book, the second book player. Here's a chance here, and over the top by John Walk. He came into the hole. There was no one marking him. Beautifully put in by Kennedy before I think Independiente were ready. Walk stretching to get at this, and he didn't control it. But for John Walk, 11 goals this season, that must be classed as a chance. And we're back live with Liverpool still going for that equaliser. Remember last year, the European side, Hamburg, pulled the goal back and forced it into extra time. Here's Nicol. Villaverde. Burachaga. And a foul there. Quickly taken. Percudani breaking again. Percudani is away with Barbaron. Percudani. A weak shot, but he's still very lively. But no doubt the Liverpool are the dominant side. But that's not enough. Well, that bobbled away from Kennedy. He looks menacingly at the pitch. Substitution imminent for Independiente. It's going to be Monzon. A defender comes on, but not for the moment. The referee wants the game to continue as Barbaron breaks away. Percudani in the middle. Barbaron had a chance there. And a substitution. So we'll hold up play while Villaverde goes off and Pedro Monzon comes on. Here's Ronnie Whelan to come on and John Walker to come off. With 14 minutes. John Walker, who had that one late chance that we saw, hasn't had the happiest of games. Clausen with the throw. Pekudani into trouble, but out of again. And a free kick. Small but lively. And a free kick from, once again, an inviting angle with 5 minutes to go. Independiente in red, leading by 1-0. Grobbelaar well aware of the problems, particularly as he's only got a three-man wall in front of him. Will it be Trocero again or Burruchaga? Trocero, and Burruchaga was going for the return there. Well held by Grobbelaar, whacked away and not very well. Burruchaga was almost free there. But a surprisingly quiet game for the Argentine captain, really. Rush. Still got time to do it. Dalglish. Mulby. Changing it to Kennedy with Nicol on his left. Kennedy going well. No power. And now he's going to be tired. He's got to get back. Well, it was a good run by the left back, Alan Kennedy, but the shot had no real sting. Johnson gets in well and bravely. Neal. Hansen. Only a minute left. And Boccini could break here. Free kick given. He knows that time is on Independiente's side. No hurry. And that, the most negative touch of the game. Roundly booed by the Japanese, but in fairness, it has been a fairly open and clear-cut game. Photographers and Argentines alike waiting to pour on when the final whistle goes. Joe Fagan knows surely it's all over unless somebody can produce a trump card in the closing seconds, and there are very, very few of those. The ball goes out, a delaying tactic. We're into injury time. Liverpool look as if they're going to lose for the second time, and they have. The final whistle. Liverpool have lost. It's Independiente, another triumph for South America, the 5th success in 5 attempts. Independiente of Buenos Aires, the Diablos Rojos, the Red Devils, beat Liverpool, the champions of Europe, by 1-0. The goal scored by Jose Pekudani. So early in the game, they withstood a lot of pressure in the second half. Goyen, the Uruguayan goalkeeper, was resolute, and it means that Club Atlético Independiente of Buenos Aires are the World Club Champions. There's the cup, the Intercontinental Cup, and the Toyota Cup, and the World Club Champions are Independiente of Buenos Aires.